Okay, now we're ready to send this packet in the air, and if it's sent, it'll fool the target computer into thinking that we are the router. But before we do that, let's have a closer look on the contents of the packet to understand how it's going to fool the target into thinking that we are the router. So I'm going to print packet.show and packet.summary. We've seen these two functions before, and we've seen how they show us the details and the summary of the packet. So let's go and run this script and see what we'll get. So I'm going to clear all of this. And first of all, I need to navigate to the location where my script is stored. And it's located in one directory back, and it's called ARP spoof. If I list here, you'll see my script. And I can run it by doing python arp spoof.py. And as you can see, we have the first part here is the result of the show function. And you can see that this is the type of this packet is and is at. So it says that a certain device is at a certain location. Its source MAC address is this one, which is the MAC address of ETH0. So if I do ifconfig ETH0, you'll see that this is the same MAC address. But the source IP is set to the IP of the router. So this is how the target or the device that's going to receive this packet will associate the MAC address of ETH0 with the IP of the router, with the IP that we set here in the PSRC field. And you can also see that the destination is set to 10027, which is our target device. And all of this information is taken from the fields that we set in this particular line. Now, if we go back down, you can see the result of the summary in here. And basically what this says is this is an ARP packet. Its type is at. So what it's saying is it says that 10021 is at this MAC address, which is the MAC address of ETH0. Therefore, when we send this to the Windows machine, it'll accept it. It's not going to verify the result. It'll just trust it. And then it'll update its ARP table and associate the IP of the router with the MAC address of Kali or of ETH0. And this way, every time it needs to communicate with the router, it'll communicate with us, which will allow us to spy on the target and redirect the flow of packets through our computer. Now let's go and send this packet, because all we're doing now is we're creating the packet and we're printing its content to get an idea of what the packet will do. So I'm actually going to delete all of this. And in order to send this packet, all we have to do is just say scapy.send and put the packet that we want to send, which is called packet. And that's it. Now when we execute this script, this will create the packet for us, store it in the packet variable, and scapy.send will send this packet for us. So let me show you what's going to happen, and you're going to understand it more. So if I do ARPA here, this will show me the ARP table that is used by the Windows machine. And as you can see right now, it's associating the IP address of the router with the router's MAC address. Now once we run the attack, it should associate the IP address of the router with the MAC address of the Kali machine. So let's go and run this very simple script and see what happens. And as you can see, this is saying that it sent one packet for us. Let's go to the Windows machine and run ARPA. As you can see, the value for the MAC address for the router has changed to the MAC address of the Kali machine. So in here, you can see that the router's IP address is associated with this MAC address. After we ran the attack, this computer received a packet that said that it came from this IP address because we set the source IP address here to the IP address of the router. So therefore, whenever this machine received that packet, it thought that it came from this IP, and it automatically stored the MAC address that it got it from, and that MAC address was the Kali machine's MAC address. So now this computer thinks that the Kali machine is the router. So anytime that this computer wants to access a website or do anything on the internet, it'll actually send its requests to the Kali machine, thinking that the Kali machine is the router. Now just to confirm this to you, if I go back here and just do if config eth0, as you can see, this is the MAC address of Kali, and this is the MAC address that you're seeing in here associated with the IP of the router. Now this is one step of the attack. We also need to tell the router that we are the victim. We can do that using the same function and using the same idea that I just did. I'll show you how to do that in the next lecture, and we'll continue working on the script to make it work better.